Well, there is a place in north central Ohio which thousands of people drive by every day, but it also draws others from around the world.
The place in Port Clinton is historic in every sense of the word. Here's Leon Bidd with today's My Ohio.
Let me tell you, I love Camp Perry for not only what it is, but what it has been for more than 100 years. You may well be awed by it, especially one aspect of Camp Perry, which I guarantee will surprise you. It is in My Ohio. For more than 100 years, when Americans have gone to war, some went with training received on Ohio's Lake Erie shoreline. Training for National Guard or Reserve units at Camp Perry, Ohio, prepared them for whatever fight. As well, during World War II, Perry was a prison camp for captured enemy troops. More on its POW role later. This military veteran itself, Camp Perry, in Port Clinton, Ohio, still hears gunfire.
Already on the firing line.
Not echoes of the past, but gun reports of the present. Every year, Camp Perry hosts thousands of civilians on its firing lines. The Civilian Marksmanship Program and the NRA-sponsored National Rifle and Pistol matches are here.
It has 4 ranges here, everything from 200 yards to 1,000 yards.
Competition is keen. Each summer brings marksmen bearing firearms for shooting competition.
Well, everything's flat here, so the ranges are easy.
Since 1907, Camp Perry has been a firing range. Over the course of many, many decades, thousands of U.S. service members have trained here, learning to fire their weapons even better. Many of those service members, of course, went off to war. There are 4 firing ranges at Camp Perry. Each one is named in honor of a Medal of Honor recipient. Year-round, a military footing, but for several weeks on the world's largest outdoor shooting range, civilians travel to Perry for the World Series of Shooting.
We always saw, as Australians, the US soil as the pinnacle for shooting sports, and then we always saw Camp Perry as the greatest event that we could attend.
This is kind of like the center of the shooting universe. Is that true?
Yes, sir, actually. It is. It's pretty much the mecca for shooters.
Ready on the right.
On the firing line, marksmen place their gun sights on targets. Also on the line are spotters using scopes to see exactly where on the target the competitor placed a shot.
Well, my husband actually was a shooter. He's been shooting about 11 years. So after sitting at home for about 6 of those years, I decided to join him.
You're 19 years old.
Yes, sir.
And hitting the targets pretty good at age 19?
Well, yes, sir.
The competition is sponsored by the National Rifle Association, which is at the center of debate for its stance on the Second Amendment on the right to bear arms. Pros and cons of debate have been fierce, but at these competitions, all debate is stopped at the gate.
We don't allow anything pro firearms or anti-firearms to occur here on the base. This is an apolitical thing. This is strictly a sporting event, and that's where we want to keep it.
In setting their sights, civilians do what the military has done here for more than a century. Many of the shooters say emphatically what they consider goes farther back than that.
This is part of the history of the United States. The country was founded on marksmanship.
If you had been back in 1776 and there was a call to arms, you would have been a guy grabbing your musket, wouldn't you?
I'd have been one of the Minutemen.
Camp Perry was named for Commodore Oliver Hazard Perry, the American naval commander who defeated the British in a Lake Erie battle in the War of 1812. American history. History as well in these huts, leaning in deterioration, like the ghosts they are from a distant time. Hundreds of huts were part of another war. During World War II, when America went off to war, Camp Perry, Ohio also went off to war. German and Italian prisoners who were caught in the European campaign by American servicemen were brought right here. And it was here they stayed. And during the rest of the war, those German and Italian prisoners of war captured by American servicemen stayed in huts just like this. Camp Perry, Ohio. Perry, one foot in history, the other in the present. A National Guard and Reserves training facility. A shooting range for civilians competition. Camp Perry, another stop in My Ohio. Camp Perry is historical in every sense of the word, but it looks not just at the past, it is vital in our present as a military training facility. In Port Clinton, Camp Perry is a Another stop in My Ohio. Live on 5, I'm Leon Bibb.